What is the content of invitation, command, prohibition, exhortation, etc.? What topics should we invite or command and prohibit? How much importance should we give to which topics? Should we invite only to acts of worship such as prayer and fasting? Or should we also invite to matters such as medicine, business, education, society, human rights, honesty, etc.? Should we invite only to people? Or should we also invite and command and prohibit for the welfare of living beings, nature, and the environment? Islam is a complete system of life. It has detailed instructions in every aspect of faith, belief, worship, transactions, etc. All matters are matters of da'wah. The believer is not given the right to limit da'wah to only some matters, excluding some. However, there is a difference in importance: the constitution of da'wah. The believer will also give more importance to those matters to which da'wah has been given more importance in the Quran and Hadith. We know that the actions of a believer's life have been divided into different levels according to the importance given in the Quran and Hadith. Terms such as fardi ayn, fardi kifaya, wajib, sunnah, mustahab, haram, makruh, mubah, etc. are familiar to us. But many times, when we talk about virtues due to emotion or ignorance, we make a serious mistake in this regard. While calling for voluntary and recommended actions, we forget or neglect fard and wajib actions. Furthermore, many times, when discussing the virtues of mustahab, the terrible consequences of haram are not mentioned. From the da'wah system of the Quran and Hadith, we see the importance of the issues of da'wah and the prohibitions of establishing the religion as follows. First, achieving pure faith in Tawheed and Risalat and protecting oneself from all kinds of shirk, kufr, and hypocrisy. The subject of da'wah of all the prophets was first. This is the subject of da'wah that has been called upon the most in the Quran and Hadith. On the one hand, just as the rules of Tawheed have been described in detail and the call to establish Tawheed has been given, on the other hand, shirk, kufr, and hypocrisy have been repeatedly described in detail and forbidden. Most da'is busy in da'wah on the path of religion nowadays are terribly negligent in this matter. We think that we are only calling the believers. Therefore, there is no need to call on the subject of Iman Aqidah or Tawheed, or to forbid shirk kufr. However, Allah the Almighty says most of them believe in Allah, but they associate others with Him. The believers have been repeatedly warned against shirk and kufr in the Hadith. Without pure Tawheed and faith in the messengership free from shirk, kufr, and hypocrisy, all obligatory or voluntary acts of worship, such as prayer, fasting, da'wah, jihad, dhikr, tazkiyah, etc., are meaningless. Secondly, avoiding forbidden acts related to the rights of the servant or creation. We know that there are two types of obligatory acts that must be performed and obligatory acts that must be avoided. What is forbidden is called haram. Haram is of two types. The first type is haram, which is related to destroying the rights of people in creation or causing them any harm. Avoiding these is of utmost importance. To properly fulfill the rights of parents, spouse, children, subordinates, colleagues, neighbors, the poor, orphans, and others. Not to violate anyone's rights in any way. Not to oppress anyone. Not to backbite. Not to be short in weight and measure, etc. Not to neglect fulfilling promises, contracts, obligations, or deposits. To protect oneself from unlawful earnings. To speak and judge justly even if against oneself or one's relatives. To judge and decide fairly even if in favor of infidel enemies, etc., are among the most important issues in the invitation and injunctions of the Quran and Hadith. Even hurting or causing trouble to anyone on the roads, in gatherings, in society, or in the environment has been strictly prohibited in the Hadith. The rights of creation do not only mean the rights of humans. Very strict warnings have been given regarding the protection of the rights of animals, not hurting any animal without the need of humans, etc. These issues are often neglected in the case of da'wah. Even many daris or dawa workers get involved in these crimes. It is an obligatory law for officials and employees working in any workplace to perform their workplace duties with full sincerity. If someone does not provide a person who comes to his workplace to receive a fard service and asks him to come the next day, or makes him sit for an hour and pray the chasht prayer, or participates in dawah, then he is basically acting like a person who, fascinated by the virtues of the turban, takes off his lungi and wears a turban naked. Although there are many injunctions and prohibitions regarding rights and responsibilities in the Quran and Hadith, we are not interested in the